Hello everyone, welcome back to Learniverse, your gateway to knowledge. So today we are starting our new chapter, The Living World, and in this video we'll be discussing the first topic of this chapter, diversity in the living world. I would like to provide you a basic overview. We'll be dealing with two topics in this chapter. First is diversity in the living world, and second we'll be reading about the taxonomical hierarchy and other things, right? So let's start with diversity in the living world. So we'll be covering biodiversity, nomenclature and its rules, classification, taxonomy and systematics in this chapter or in this topic. So biodiversity refers to the variety of life on earth encompassing all living organisms, their genetic diversity and the ecosystems they form. It is a measure of the richness and variety of life forms at different scales, including genetic, species, and ecosystem diversity. It is crucial for the health and functioning of ecosystems as well as for the well-being of the human society. So basically this topic discusses about large variety of living organisms that are present all around us, from plants to insects to birds to even microscopic organisms, right? And these organisms increases with the increase in area. For example, if you are seeing in your locality or in your garden, the amount of organisms present in your garden are much less than present in your whole society. So as the area of research increases, the amount of these organisms also increases, right? So according to this statement, in a dense forest, the amount of microorganism is very high, like as compared to your garden in a dense forest, their amount is very high. This all refers to biodiversity or number and type of bioorganisms present on the earth. And as new and new organisms continue to be identified, the number of organisms increases. Okay. So now, as there are millions of plants and animals, we know the plants and animals in our area by their local names. And in some other area, those people will be identifying these plants and animals by their local name. So this kind of creates a confusion. Thus, standardized names are given that are common all around the world. This process is called nomenclature. Nomenclature involves the assignment of scientific names to organisms according to internationally recognized rules and conventions. The scientific names of an organism typically consist of two parts, which we will be discussing later in this video. So these two part system is basically known as binomial nomenclature, and it was developed by Carl Linnaeus in the 18th century. Binomial nomenclature system ensures that each organism is given a unique standardized name that is universally recognized across languages and cultures. This is important for clear communication among scientists and for organizing and cataloging the vast diversity of life on Earth. For example, अगर आप अपनी locality में प्याज को प्याज कहते हैं और दूसरी जगह पे प्याज को कांदा कहते हैं, सो दिस क्रिएट्स अ कंफ्यूजन, राइट? अगर इस पे कोई रिसर्च की जा रही है तो वहां पे हम उन्होंने अगर प्याज के नाम पे रिसर्च करी, so the people who are calling it kanda would get confused, and similarly for the people calling it onion. So it was given a particular name, Allium cepa. So for everyone would be identifying it by that biological name. So it is basically made of two parts, the generic name and the specific epithet. So it is a binomial nomenclature. Moving forward, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature (ICBN) is responsible for naming plants, and International Code for Zoological Nomenclature is responsible for naming animals. Okay, this is based on principle and criteria which are set by these two, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature and International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. And one name is given to one organism only. Okay, so as I said that biological name is made up of two parts. One is generic name and the other is specific epithet. This was given by Carolus Linnaeus. So these are the universal rules of nomenclature. Biological names are generally in Latin and written in italics. They are Latinized or derived from Latin irrespective of their origin. For example, अगर कोई plant या कोई animal originated in India, so उसका कोई Indian नाम नहीं रखा जाएगा. The name would be kept only and only in Latin. The first word in biological name represents the genus, while the second component denotes the specific epithet. For example, in this C, it is Mangifera indica. So this is Mangifera is the generic name and indica is the specific epithet, right? Okay. So let me erase this. Yes. So both the words in a biological name, when handwritten, are separately underlined or printed in italics to indicate their Latin origin. So the statements tell us that both the names Mangifera and Indica, when they are handwritten, suppose you are writing in your copy or you are writing in your answer sheet the name Mangifera Indica, you need to underline it separately. Like it's written Mangifera, underline this and underline this. Okay, so they are underlined separately when they are handwritten and they are printed in italics. They are printed in italics means whenever they are printed in books or in somewhere in any paper or research paper, it is printed in italics. Okay, so fourth is the first word denoting the genus starts with a capital letter while the specific epithet starts with a small letter. It can be illustrated with the example of Mangifera indica. I will be telling you it in the next slide as well. See, this is typed form. It is written in italics, and whenever it is handwritten, it is separately underlined. And the first letter of this generic name is written in capitals, while the small second, while the first letter in the specific name is written in small. Got my point? Okay. So sometimes we write the name of the author, the name of the scientist who gave this name. It is written after the specific epithet in abbreviated form. But this is not covered in your NCERT, so let's skip it for now. Next, we have classification and taxonomy. Classification is a process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. See, now through the process of nomenclature, we have given the organism its name. Now these organisms are classified into convenient categories. Otherwise, it will be quite cumbersome process to learn about each and every organism separately. So what is done is these organisms are placed in categories. For example, all the animals which have body hairs, etc., and along with some few other characteristics which will be dealing on in the next chapters, they are placed under the category mammals, and these categories are known as taxa. Hence, based on characteristics, all living organisms can be classified into different taxa, and this process of classification is known as taxonomy. So characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature are the processes that are basic to taxonomy. And taxonomy is a branch of systematics. And systematics we'll be studying in the next slide. Systematics, it is the scientific study of the diversity of life and relationship among organisms, both past and present. It encompasses the classification, identification, and organization of organisms into hierarchical groups based on their evolutionary relationships. The primary goal of systematics is to reconstruct the evolutionary history of phylogeny of organisms, elucidating patterns of descent and common ancestry. Systematics takes into account evolutionary relationships between organisms. This definition is quite scientific, so let's understand it in simple words. So different kinds of organisms, ठीक है, अलग अलग organisms जो थे उनके बीच में जो diversity थी और उनके बीच में जो relationships थे वो सारे हम systematics के अंडर पढ़ते हैं. Systematics is a very like huge topic. When you'll go in higher classes like during graduation, if you are opting for botany, for example botany, you will be studying a whole a whole topic or a whole subject called plant systematics. So there's a whole subject, a whole paper for this systematics. It's quite a large topic. So basically in systematics we study about the organisms that we have classified, their diversity and the relationship among them. Also, it takes into account the evolutionary relationship between the organism. So you have to just remember relationship among organism, classification, identification, and evolutionary relationship. This elucidating patterns of descent in common ancestry, it just involves evolution, like how they are how it came, how it emerged, like that. So you don't need to remember everything, just remember about the organism categories, the diversities, and the relationship among them. So that's it. Next we'll be covering the taxonomical hierarchy. If you like the video, just like, share, and subscribe for more, and share it with your friends so that you'll be able to learn these topics easily in short forms. And so now we have completed the first chapter. I'll be posting the second video very soon, and then whole chapter we'll be covering in a single video. And yeah, that's all for the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.